No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today I have somebody I've been looking forward to interviewing for a very, very long time. Cowboy is in the building. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm blessed.
Very, very excited to have you in here, man. It feels like you're somebody that should have had a long-form, intricate interview in the past, but I know you've kind of wanted to keep your story close to your chest for a few years now.
Yeah, well, really, the first year or so, more than the second year, we missed Nip so much, just the shock of everything, what I mean? That wasn't a part of the plan, so I was surrounding myself with work, and I've just been trying to stay busy, trying to, miss him every day, so.
It's still just a haunting presence in your brain?
Yeah, exactly, so.
Definitely. Can we talk a little bit about your upbringing, your early years?
Grew up in Windsor Hills, gang bang, moved to the hood probably like in '83,
You were born in what year?
73.
73.
49 now.
Okay.
Yeah. So grew up in the hood, gang banged, depending wherever your mom moved to, basically that's where you were gonna be from or, affiliated with it. So, I grew up in the 60s. Went to prison a few times,
Okay, you moved there in '83. Yeah. Had you not been exposed to too much of the street shit prior to that?
No. That was all new to me. Colors, red and blue, I think my grandmother had bought me some red, like these were the little karate slippers, little karate shoes was in back then. So I had the red ones and I was wondering why you got those red ones on? I never knew anything about the colors, but I learned quick.
Right.
I learned fast.
What was LA like at that time from your perspective as opposed to what it's like today?
Well, back then, we were friends, you were neighborhood friends, we were all friends, we were homies. If I had $2, you had $2, we'd piece up on the beer, we were friends. So nowadays, there's really no friendship. You might got one or two friends from the hood that you really mess with, but other than that, there's no friendship. So they took that away. The gang injunction. So now you can't be around your peers. So this guy around the corner that you normally would like go have a beer with, you can't have a beer. Now you're like, he's a buster, or he's this, he's that. But at the same token, you never had a chance to meet that person, even though y'all from the same hood.
Do you think that there's more or less animosity between gangs at this point? Because on one hand, you still hear constantly about people shooting at each other and everything like that. But then on the other hand, you see a lot of people who are from neighborhoods where they're not supposed to get along, and maybe the music sort of allows them to be together. I've seen that over and over and over with the store where somebody, I'm not even knowing, but somebody would tell me, this is big. You got this guy sitting across from this guy. They're together. That would never have happened if it wasn't for this being a sort of shared, safe space where they feel comfortable in that environment.
Yeah, so it's a difference. Nowadays, like through Nip and YG and the movement like that, when I came home from prison, Nip was doing this thing with the game. The game, I gave him a shout out. So, the ultimate goal, like when I came home from prison, I had a plan. I'm gonna do this, do that. I met Nip and them. They were young. He wasn't from the hood yet, but I seen where he's headed. Like I pulled up on him one day. I said, "Where you from?" He's like, "I don't gang bang." And I looked at him. I said, "Man, you got on khakis. You got on chucks. You look like you gang banging." So, so I talked to him about the hood every night. We would just talk about the hood. Then I gave him the name. I named him up under me. I named him a little Thundercat. So I named him.
Okay.
Said, now you got to go get put on, make it official.
When did you get the Thundercat name?
In prison.
Okay. Okay. So for the timeline, when did you get locked up, and for how long?
Well, I got locked up before I even met Nipsey. I got locked up in that was, I want to say 96 to 03.
So you were 23 or so?
Yeah, somewhere up in there. From 96 to 03. I met Nip in 03, coming off from prison in 03.
Okay. And what did you get caught up doing?
In 2000, I think robbery. I got robberies, guns, a little bit of everything.
And when you look back at that time period of your life, like, when you were 10 and you moved there, how long did it take before you fully sort of went for the gang lifestyle? And what pushed you into that? Did you feel like you needed protection, or you just want to be part of something? Or?
Well, when I came from the hood, when I moved to the hood, I met my friends on that block. So then my family moved off of the block. So they moved off of the block. It was my mom and my stepdad. They moved off of the block to a better community.
Okay.
So my friends were still in the hood. So even though we moved off of the block, I still came back to my friends. You know, I was a stepchild. That wasn't my natural dad that took care of me. So I didn't get the same benefits as my siblings or whatever. You know what I mean? So I clung to the hood. That was my family.
Do you feel like you were looking for a father figure at that point in your life?
No, my dad was close by. It wasn't that. You know what I mean? That was my family. Like I said, we were friends. We were homies. You know, when I ran away from home, I stayed in the hood. You know.
But was it mostly a positive thing, looking back on it now, or was it mostly focused around negativity?
At that time, it was basically negative. We was gangbanging, robbing, jacking. Slauson and Crenshaw caught my first case in 1990. I robbed that whole parking lot. You know what I mean? I car to car, I robbed it. I would go in the gas station, rob everybody in the gas station. You know, yeah, we was out there gangbanging wild. You know.
What drove you to rob so many people in a row like that?
You just out there active. You just being wild. You were young, didn't know no better. You know, you just young. Like nowadays, I see a lot of wild stuff. I see these youngsters doing super wild stuff, and it reminds me of the wild stuff we did. You know, my thing is now with the gangbanging is, I've been gangbanging 32 years. I've been at this. When I started gangbanging, I don't know why we beefing with. I don't know why the 60s and the Hoovers started beefing. I don't know why the 60s and the A-Trays started beefing. I don't know how that started. But when I moved to that hood, I'm affiliated with all those beefs. So here it is. I've been doing it 30-some years. And I really don't know why it started, but when I went to jail, it was taught the Hoovers, they were bad, or these were bad, and I rode those beefs, took the phase, did what I had to do. But here it is, 30-some years later, why are you guys still dying for those same beefs? So we still killing each other over a beef that may have started because this nigga done fucked this nigga's girl, and now all of a sudden, years and years, 30 years later, body after body after body, nobody's winning.
Yeah, and usually when you ask like a young dude, or really almost anybody, why there's friction between certain neighborhoods, sometimes they can relate it back to, oh, this guy got killed, and as a result, we can never be cool with these dudes. But more often than not, that dude getting killed was still just a product of an existing beef that they could never identify the beginnings of. And when you see, sometimes you'll see like a Vlad interview clip with somebody talking about the origins of a beef, and it will be that. It'll be like in 1975, somebody fucked somebody else's girl.
Yeah. And it carries on and on and on, and there's no ending. But so when I came home from prison, so like prior to prison, I was taught, okay, Bloods, they're Bloods, you don't get along with them. A-Trays or Hoovers, you don't get along with them or whatever it may be. But when I went to prison, now we're behind these walls. So now we had to fight with each other. We had to become friends. So when I didn't have something, my family may not have sent me something. I needed a super something. Crips on the yard may not have given it to me, but the Bloods gave me something. A person that was an enemy, when it was going down, I'm fighting, a Hoover had my back. So when I came home from prison, my outlook on Hoovers, my outlooks on Bloods, my outlooks was totally different. You know, my big homies taught me this, but when I went and I started functioning with Hoovers and different people from different hoods, like, hold up, this dude ain't no buster, this ain't, so I started thinking, you know. So when I came home from prison, you know, I had a whole plan set up. I'm gonna do the green team, the red, the blue, and we're gonna change our color to green. Because you got red is Bloods, blue is Crips, you got brown, Hispanics, not too many colors left. But green is the only color we all can agree on. Money, earth, life, green. It's a solid, positive color. So I had a plan, let's unite. You know, I met up with Malik Spellman when I was young. They taught me, I was gangbanging. I didn't want to hear nothing about that positive stuff. You know, I was trying to get money. I was trying to move fast. And they instilled some stuff in me. I had to go to prison. They told me, yeah, you're going to do this. Yeah, you're going to go to prison. Yeah. Went to prison. I learned all these wasn't bad guys. So if one individual from Hoover do something wrong, I can't be mad at every Hoover. You gotta be mad at that individual.
Isn't that fascinating that it takes a lot of people going to prison to look at the guy who grew up 3 blocks away from him as just a person?
Yeah, because you never had a chance to function with him. You never met him. So if I tell you, I say Adam's a bad guy, and you never met him, so in your mind you say Adam's a bad guy. Then you meet Adam, like, damn, hold up, Adam wasn't that bad guy. So, you know, I was taught these were bad guys, but when I met him, and as I started functioning with him, you like one person from 60, like the dumb nigga that did something to Nipsey. I can't blame it on the 60s. I can blame it on that one dumb ass individual that did something stupid. You feel me? I wish I could say, oh, these individuals, I wish I had somebody I could take it out on, but it's one motherfucker. You know what I mean? So
and that's the wild thing about why Nip's passing was able to, for however briefly or however long it lasted, kind of unite the city, is because he didn't get killed by his enemies. Because if that had happened, we all know there would have been ramifications.
Exactly.
Nobody would have been talking about a peace treaty.
Yeah.
But because it happened within his own gang, then people were able to see it as a reason to try to bring more peace about.
Yeah, and it's the message that we stood for. You know, like I said, with Nipsey and what YG had going on, that was great. You know, the team. You know, it was like if we were doing a show and with the Crips were there, we could take care of the Crips. Y'all be cool. Nip here. Okay, the Bloods acting up. Hey, YG, y'all take care of them. You know, it worked hand in hand. You know, and I seen, oh, it could be done. You know, when I thought about it, it was just a thought. You know, but coming home from prison and Nipsey actually executed it. They actually took what I did. At that time, I fell off. I was smoking dope, you know, I fell off. I went downtown, homeless, went to the shelters, you know. I went through troubles. The baby mama threw boiling water in my face, burned my face, losing my kids, fighting to get them out of the systems and shit like that.
Wow.
Then I started my road to recovery a little bit before Victory Lap I started. So I'm out there hanging posters for Victory Lap, and through all that drama I had with my baby mama, it sent me back down to where Nip was. I was in Lancaster taking care of my family. I was a stay-home dad.
Right.
You know, I was recovering off of drugs. I was smooth. I was a stay-home dad.
Were you fucking with drugs before you went into prison, or did that just happen afterwards?
You know, prior to my first time, I never did any high-powered drugs. I smoked weed.
Right.
03, when they were doing the powder. You know what I mean? So
and it was so new at that time that you didn't really know.
Yeah, well, I started late. I was like 35 at the time when I first started doing some drugs. I was 35. I only smoked.
You said 03, not 83.
Yeah, 03. Yeah. 03. No. Right. I didn't do no drugs till 03, coming home from prison. 03, 04, I started tooting the powder. Then it led to crack cocaine. And, you know, I tore up the whole hood, you know, smoking, you know, going through it,
But you connected with Nipsey before you kind of went on this dark spell?
Exactly. So coming home from prison in 03, met Nip, you know, got into the studios, bought a computer. We learned how to do a little music, learned the Pro Tools, you know, my grandma's garage. We learned, we just rap. He was like one of the underdogs. So when I came home from prison, they would let me rap in certain studios, and I would see him not rapping. I say, man, why you not rapping? But he wasn't a part of their group, and at that time he wasn't officially from the hood. You know, so I seen a lot of me in him.
Hey, are you looking for beats from hit-making producers? Well, there's a new player in town. Beatopia is the first subscription service of its kind. It's basically like Netflix, but for rap beats. While other beat platforms charge you between $20 and $40 per MP3 and a limited number of streams, Beatopia gives you 5 downloads for just $15 a month. With that, you get the waves, stems, and full rights so that you can get unlimited streams on Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Producer credits include Kehlani, Gunna, WizKid, Polo G, Ty Dolla $ign, and many, many more. To celebrate the launch, Beatopia is giving away a full home studio to one lucky winner. So enter the competition via the link below, and don't forget to check out the quality of the beats at beatopia.com. Click the link in the description below for more information. But what was it? Was it a work ethic that you could identify, or just an intelligence, or was there something musically?
Talking to him, not even musically. Musically, just off the top, like, this motherfucker hard. Like, you know, he's hard. But talking to him, he was on some grown man shit. He was a grown man. Like, a lot of people give me credit for, oh, he did this for Nip, he did that for Nip. No, the only thing I did for them was have faith in him when nobody else did. I said, look, bro, this is if you do this, you're gonna go to prison, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. Man, if you do this, man, you're gonna go around the world, you're gonna do your music, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. And I painted that vision, and he believed in it. Once he believed in it, couldn't tell him nothing. It just took me to have faith in him. The rest he did on his own.
Was he getting in trouble at that time, or was he kind of on the straight and narrow? You're saying he wasn't from the hood yet?
At that time, he was looking for acceptance, like the homies would be like, oh yeah, he just a rapper. I'm looking like, man, in a couple years, he gonna be from the hood, he gonna beat your ass, he gonna beat your ass. And I'm looking like, cause I remember I used to play basketball. The homies just thought I was gonna play ball. So I play basketball. You look at the old gangbanging photos, the homies got blue rags on their head, I got my basketball. I'm walking around playing ball, you know, so I seen where he was headed, like, you know, you about to start gangbanging. If you're around here, for sure. And looking how you dressing, and that's the only thing the homies had over his head. Oh, you ain't from you just a rapper. You know, but once he got put from the hood, now okay, now he equal. We on equal.
Do you remember when he got put on?
I want to say '04.
Okay.
I want to say right up in there, because I came home '03. I want to say around '04. It was some time. We spent some time, and I talked to him about the hood, laced him about the hood, telling him about the politics of the hood. See, when I was coming up, it wasn't no homies killing homies. So the first homie that killed the homie, it was shocking. Like, it was shocking to us. So now here it is, 20 years later, more homies are dying and killing each other. It's not shocking to this new generation because they never witnessed it when we were all friends.
It's like an old saying. The biggest killer of Rolling 60s is Rolling 60s, right? Does that kill you to hear that?
No, it's the truth.
To hear that said so commonly?
It's the truth. We lost our best homies to homies. We can't blame it on the enemies. I can't blame it on the Hoovers. I can't blame it. All our real homies that really made a difference, real homies, real soldiers, real ones died to homies. Simple as that. It ain't. I mean, on all my fingers I can count. But you got over the years, these youngsters, that's all they witnessed. I had a chance to witness. If I'm out of gas, a big homie, they're not gonna pass you up. Hey man, you all right? You need a ride? You know, it was against the rules. If you seen a homie walking, you gonna stop and, oh, I'm good. Keep on pushing. Nowadays, it's no more love. You know, it just ain't the same. Like I said, they witnessed so much coming up. They never witnessed the love. You know, so the only thing we got in common is the '60s, our area. Before we had more in common, we would have meetings, we would fight. I fight you, and we'd fight next week or whatever, but then we'd hug and we became friends. Me and Fats, we fought. I came home from prison. Me and Fats had a fight. Best of friends ever since, you know what I mean?
It's weird to think about how often it used to work like that, because now with the internet and everybody knowing about these situations, it feels like the fist fight is a lot less likely to end up with y'all being cool.
Yeah, well nowadays the youngsters, they're not gonna accept an ass whooping. You know what I mean? We would fight, like if I was squabbling you up and you hit the ground, I'll stop, pick you up, come on, because we were homies. So now, when I got put on, I squabbled one-on-one. I squabbled maybe 3 people back to back to back, but I squabbled them head up. Now, 4 or 5 niggas is beating your ass, they skull dragging you through the alley. Now you from the hood, now what the fuck, y'all done ran me through the ringer day one. You feel me? Y'all done. So I already mad. It's automatically 4 niggas I don't like already. These 4 niggas that beat the shit out of me, it's already 4 off the dribble.
Right. You think there's oftentimes a lot of animosity left over there when they get beat into it?
Now, because now if I'm doing a head up with you and we squab and all of a sudden this dude blindside me, you know, it's my day to shine. You know, I want to be from the hood. Now I'm trying to, you know, I'm focusing on the head up, and all of a sudden this nigga sock me from the side, you know what I mean? Now all of a sudden I'm getting boot bop and they filming it and all this sort of shit. So now, yeah.
They're not supposed to film it though, right?
Well, I'm saying, yeah, you're not supposed to film it, but at the same time, I mean, a lot of stuff, when we were coming up, you couldn't even take a picture. You know, we caught you taking a picture with a camera, we're gonna break your camera up. You know, it was just, nowadays it's just a whole nother set of rules, you know. But the thing is, the rules don't change. It's etiquette to this shit, you know. But now everybody feel they're above the program. You know, because a lot of their leadership went to prison. A lot of their leadership is dead. A lot of their leadership is doing good now, and like, oh, them little young motherfuckers, you know. You know, just let them do what they do, or they scared of them, you know. But you still gotta say, hold up, pull your pants up, man. Look, do this, do that. You got, when you see them doing something wrong, okay, you got a gun. So what, nigga? Look, see that old lady right there? Don't be cussing that lady out. That could be somebody's mama. You feel me? We here to, so you here to protect. You know, originally Crips and Bloods was for the community. You know, from the Black Panthers, it was something for the community. You know what I mean? We were supposed to protect the community, you know what I mean? So at some point in time, it got disarray. So, and I see a lot of people do these internet videos. They want to say who started the Crips, who did this. Okay, let's forget about who started it. Let's see why it was started, and let's get back to the purpose, to serving the community. Forget who started it. Okay, wow. Okay, he started it, it went haywire. But what was the structure about? Was it about saving the community? Was it about helping the community? Let's go back to the original, to what it was meant for.
Because there's zero chance that every gang member in Los Angeles is just going to renounce their gang memberships, but there's a very realistic chance that the overall culture of gangbanging, whether it's because of the artists who kind of speak on the culture, or whether it's because of the OGs being able to have more of an influence, it's really just about changing the culture to make it less cool to kill someone, or less cool to work through your problems by shooting somebody, make it less cool to, you know, scream on an old lady like you're saying. You know, it's all about the culture of the times. And I mean, in a lot of ways, I feel like the 90s was probably worse in a lot of ways, culturally.
It was definitely worse. It was definitely worse, you know, even if you look at the statistics as far as the crime rates and stuff like that. So the 90s is the reason we got these laws now. That's the reason you got the 3-strike law. That's the reason you got all these gun laws. In the 90s, that's the reason. So it can be some change, though. It can definitely be some change. We seen that through the music, you know, and through these social media platforms. People spend so much energy on the bullshit, oh, he said, she said, and all the dumb shit. Okay, what's the solution to this shit? Fuck, okay, somebody said this or somebody did that. All right, what's the solution to our problems? What are we gonna do? First off, everybody need to know, ain't nobody winning this war. You go kill somebody over there, you go kill somebody over there. Y'all can do that shit back and forth all day, every day. Nobody's winning. Okay, so now, it's enough bodies on every side. Enough bodies, okay, 100 bodies over there, 100 over there, 100 is 100. So, I mean, so now, who gonna be mad enough to say, okay, I'm gonna renounce, I'm done with that shit. You know what, I'm gonna get on this green team and I don't give a fuck where you from. Let's make some money. We'll come, right now I could call the homies up and say, look, man, it's going down. They gonna come fight, we'll come tear up some shit. I say, hey, let's come together and make some money. 1, 2 niggas gonna pop up. You feel me? Well, I can get a whole group to come together for some dumb shit, you know, but let's come together, let's make some money, let's come together, no matter where you from, let's get some bread. You know, let's live life. Ain't we tired? See, they never witnessed the peace treaty. You know, when the peace treaty, and when they had the Rodney King riot and the peace treaty, we was young, we was against it, man. We ain't with that peace shit, nigga. You know, fuck all that, we ain't with all that, you know what I mean?
And so what year are we talking, and how did that actually come into effect, the peace treaty? It was because of the riots?
Well, after the riots, the peace treaty went out. So so at that time, I think the Swans, they wasn't with it. I think the Hoovers wasn't with it. The 60s wasn't with it. So we had a big meeting. In Watts, we had the neutral ground. The PJs and the bounty hunters, they had the neutral ground. So a lot of LA, even though it was a peace treaty, we wasn't gonna go just hang in the Hoovers. The Hoovers weren't gonna come hang with us, but everything in Watts was neutral ground. So when we went out there and we seen whoever, it was live. So like we were young and we was against it at first. Oh man, forget that, you know, we was gangbanging. But we went out there and we seen Bloods, we seen Crips, we seen the purple, we seen all the colors, we seen all the females from around the world. It was just a big function. Police rolling up, they didn't have no power. Helicopter flying, there was no power. We were all together. And it was amazing, you know, even though they burned down the whole city and all that, but at the same token, that was the first time we could just function with, we could put your guard down, just go in the store, have to worry about getting shot, you know. So a lot of these people, they never witnessed that. Like I said, at the time I was against it, but once I witnessed it and I felt that, I've never felt it again since, though. You know what I mean?
What made you against it? Just the fact that you
I
were
was
so
young
angry about.
I was young and I didn't know no better. We were gangbanging. You know, at that time I had lost homies. I done had little homies that got killed, and I had new fresh beefs. I understood. You know what I mean? We were really out there gangbanging. So, so as a youngster, you know, we wasn't listening to the big homies. Like, oh man, we ain't trying to hear that. Because they was like, the big homies like, we gonna go check it out. Y'all stay here. But I had like 4 or 5 G rides in the alley. They were like, nah, we rolling with Mac. They jumped in the gym, we jumped in all the stolen cars, and we shot up there. You know, we rags on our face, and we ready to go tear this shit up. When we got there, and we looked at all of it, like, wow, this is amazing. You know what I mean? And we were young, might have been what, 19, 21, I don't know, something, whatever that was, 20, whatever. It was amazing just to see that.
Wow.
Just to see that many people in Watts, we in the projects, and everybody partying, the music playing, and you just got everybody got their color, red rags, blue rags tied together. It was amazing, you know, to witness something like that. You know? And like I said, these youngsters, they never witnessed it. So
After Nip passed, was that the closest thing to that since then?
After Nip passed, it was a lot of love from everywhere. But then everything went haywire too. A lot of everything went haywire. You know what I mean? A lot of unnecessary death. You know, after Nip passed, Dominique died in the parking lot. A lot of people died that the world never heard about. You know, you never heard about Tape Off, Mad Ronnie. You never heard about those homies. And I watched them, and I raised all of them. Anyway, just to watch like Fats and watch them die. You know, and it's you know, just to watch them die as the old guy. I gotta watch my youngsters. You know, and we losing the ones that really could make a difference. You know, but like I said, the world never saw those people, but they were equal in my heart. You know, the same love I got for Nip, I loved all of them just like I love Nip. The world knew Nip, but I'm losing a lot of the good ones. Then you got a lot of them out here that are just taking up space that's in the way, that don't want to listen, that want to go against the grain, that think they above the program.
Because these days, even if it's you or like higher ups from various gangs or whatever who all are agreeing that we're gonna have a peace, we're gonna try to get along, etc. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it with the mural getting fucking tagged over and shit. There's always gonna be some young crazy motherfuckers who are gonna screw it up for everybody, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's inevitable. But at the same token, we can't give up on them. You know, the OGs, you gotta constantly be on them. You can't give up on them. You know what I mean? Show them, give them options. Show them something like, you know, I'm opening up business. I got my restaurant. I got my clothing store. I'm teaching them how to manufacture stuff. Give them options. You know, you can't save everybody. You know, if you can save 1 or 2 out of the pack, you got to do what you can do. You know, your thing is just to plant the seed. You know, Nip was one of the ones that listened to what I had to say. I did the same spiel to a bunch of different homies. Like, why you want to gangbang, man? Look, this was gonna happen. So a couple of them is dead. Some of them did this, some did that. You know, Nip was one of the great ones that listened and did it big, you know.
But what was that like witnessing his transformation from, people always make the point of Nip had all these other hoods whacked out on his skin, tattoos of who he had beef with, etc. But then when you look at him by the end of his career, that he was on some totally elevated, different shit. Yeah. Did you get to witness that transformation, or?
Yeah, well, he changed his views on stuff. Even like, you know, I influenced a lot at the beginning. You know, letting him know. I let him know a lot of stuff that was headed his way. He's like, you're young, and I said, look, bro, this is headed your way. It's like, maybe over a month's time, we would talk every night in the studio. I'll meet him up in the studio, and we'd be talking or whatever. And basically just laced him on a lot of stuff, you know. I kind of could see his future. Like, if you do this, you're going to, if you stick right here, you're going to prison. You're going to do, because I see you doing exactly what I did. So don't do this, do that, you know. But like I said, he got put on the hood, and he got official. Because at that time, you couldn't just be from the hood and just be a rapper, you know, and gonna be accepted, you know. So he had to, you know, squabble up and be official, you know. And like I said, he was a grown man. He was nobody's boy. Couldn't nobody tell Nip nothing. If Nip didn't want to do it, it was a no-go. You know what I mean? That's what I liked about him. That's why I named him under me. You wasn't gonna be under me and be somebody's boy. And,
so how did you get the Thundercat name while you were locked up?
Yeah. when I was, I'm originally a Kev Mac. So originally they know me as Kev Mac. So if you look at all the videos, I'm known as Kev Mac. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So if you look at all the original videos, I'm in the rapping. I got the permed out hair. Nipsey's bald headed, no hair on his face. He's just in the background. And all the little videos I did.
That's what all your rap videos are under during that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only put out a couple videos.
Okay.
You know, coming up from prison, I did a couple videos. Then when I started dealing with Nip, and at the time, Cuzzy Capone, he was one of the hottest ones in the hood. But when Nip started rapping, you know, I sat down and watched. You know, it was watch the show. You know, like dude, he's amazing. It wasn't never about me. I did stand-up comedy, so I was going on stage at Mixed Nuts, the comedy store. I was doing shows coming on from prison. So prior to prison, I was doing that with AJ Johnson, doing shows with Martin Lawrence, Chris Tucker.
Wow. I
was doing it at the Comedy Act Theater in Lamert. So then I went to prison, came home.
You got a lot of range, by the way, because that's not something I expected you to say in a million years, that you were doing comedy as well.
So I was in the movie High School High, a couple other joints that, you know, Snoop Dogg video, I played his double. They took my face off in his video. So I've been, you know, when Snoop Dogg was fighting his murder trial, I'm holding his son in my hands, pushing the cameras out the way. You know, we were protesting for Snoop when he was fighting his murder trial. I brought some dogs down there, we put them in a cage, and we said, let all our dogs loose, not just Snoop, all our dogs. So, you know, me and my guy Mustafa and Malik, we had a big impact on Snoop Dogg's case as well. We sat there and we protested in front of the criminal courthouse building, you know.
Wow.
So when I met Nip, he was like my young Snoop, you know what I mean? So, even when he got the name, I hear a lot of people talking about how Nip got his name and all that stuff. I remember being in the studio and I was like cracking my jokes like, man, you're gonna be Lil Snoop Dogg. We're gonna call you this. At the time, his name was E. We called him E Money, and we called him That was his name, you know. So we trying to figure out what his rap name was gonna be. So, you know, we're selling the bootleg movies, so we always sold the bootleg movies, and so I'm in the cracking jokes, and we trying to figure out his name. And then you look at what the bootleg movie was playing in the background. It was Black Dynamite was playing in the background, and you hear him come in, he kicked the door, he said, tell that motherfucker Nipsey I'm looking for him. And that's when Nip looked at me, and we looked at each other, and he was like, Hustle. That's how we came up with the Nipsey Hussle. So if you look at the movie, the Black Dynamite, and it's a character, that's Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, wow.
And they always say, oh, it's Nipsey Russell and all that, but no. We used to sell those bootleg movies, and
wow.
And I think it may be me, him, and China was there when came up with the name.
That's crazy. Okay, but so then you go through this time period of your life where you're all fucked up, and you said you went and you were staying downtown and shit like that. How long was that time period, and where would you describe that you were at mentally during all that?
You know, I remember times where I'm coming down Sloss and I'm smoking. I got pipe in my pocket. Well, we say, okay, before Nip even blew up, when Big U and Steve LaBelle rolled up on me. When they rolled up on me, I want to say 06, when they rolled up on me. And so prior to that, I did a video and I showed it to Big U, and it was me and Nip on it. And Nip had some hard video on there. And Big U was like, this shit too hood. They don't want it. We want something, it's too hood. So some months go by, him and Steve LaBelle roll up on me, and then Draws hit the window and he said, hey man, they looking for some hood shit. I say, nigga, I told you. I said, nigga, I told you. So at that time, you think I was selling CDs. I had a pocket full of rocks in my pocket, had my pipe, you know what I mean? I told him, come on, follow me. I took him to the liquor store. I jumped on the counter. Mama San had one of my DVDs that fell behind the counter. And I've been telling Mama San, get my CD from back there. It was a DVD. I fished the DVD out of there, and I let Steve LaBelle and them see it. And they looked at Nip videos, and the rest was history. So I went back to prison. I came home. Nip was taking flight. That's when they had the little deal with Sony or Epic, whatever they had going on. It had took flight at that point.
Wow, it's amazing. So then, how involved were you, or when did you become business partners with them, or how did this relationship kind of begin to build?
I've never been Nip's business partner.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I worked for him. Black Sam was my boss.
Okay.
Put it that way. So I did all the hard work. I laid the floors. I painted the walls. If a smoker took a shit on the side of the All Money In truck, I'm the one to go shovel it up. You know, when I was smoking dope, I'd come by and say, hey man, you think I could sweep the alley? They'll let me sweep the alley or something, make $100 or something. I earned everything. You know, I never asked Nip for nothing. I never asked Nip for nothing. I mean, I was smoking dope. Nip would pull up. I said, man, I'm tired of this shit, man. And he said, get in the car. I get in the car, I put my dope on the pipe, take the full one, throw my pipe out the car, blow the smoke out, lay my head back. He take me to the studio, let me lay down for 2 or 3 days.
Wow.
Feel me? Never switched on me, never changed.
You felt like he didn't judge you for where you were at in your life?
Never, not one time, never. He told me, get your shit together. I mean, one time I hit him up for some money. I said, man, I'm getting kicked out of my hotel room and I need some money. He said, bro, I'm gonna give you the money. But he said, what can I give you so you ain't gotta come back next month or the next day asking me again? Right. I said, pay for the room and give me a pack of CDs. Give me 100 pack of CDs and I'll be good. That's the last time I asked bro for $1. I never looked back. Wow. You know, I got my pack of CDs, burned my little hood unit, and I got back on my grind. Even if I was smoking dope, I was still out there selling my CDs. And like I said, I never asked him for that. I never asked to get in the show. If he was, I remember times he'd be at the store and I say, man, where you going? He said, I'm on my way, about to fly to Atlanta. When he get to Atlanta, I'd be in the parking lot. You know, and they start laughing. Look, Mike in the parking lot. And I said, where y'all going? Where y'all going next? Oh, we in Washington. When they go to Washington, I'm in Washington. You know, when they get to VIP, I'm on the couch with his bottles. He be laughing like, what? You know, I just always popped up and I was there. Never asked to get in or nothing. You know, I just always showed my support. Right. Because with Nip, with me and Nip, it was like, I'm telling everybody, nigga, I told you so. I told you this nigga gonna be the shit. Nigga, I told you. I was on that. Like, I was proving the point. Like, nigga, y'all didn't believe in us. Y'all didn't believe in what was going down. We was selling them CDs. Y'all was selling drugs. Y'all was riding by y'all fresh cars. Right. We was the wannabe rappers. Y'all wanna be rappers, but that shit took flight. You know. How'd you actually get clean though? My kids. Really? You know, if it was left up to me, I'd still be somewhere butt naked getting high. You know what I mean? If it was left up to me, you know. That's a bar. I enjoy getting high. You know, I enjoy having fun, you know what I mean? And the lifestyle, you know what I mean? My kids, you know, my kids had got taken for something that my baby mama had did, and I relapsed. And I had a meeting to go see the kids, and I was sitting there playing around with some dope, and I can't make it and all this shit. And I had to put it on something bigger than me. I didn't care about me. So if I put it on my kids or I put it on the hood, then I'm gonna stick with it. Like, I don't smoke cigarettes. I put it on the hood. Say, on the hood, if you catch me smoking a cigarette, I owe you $100. I put it on the hood. I can't put it on me. I'll blow me up. But if I put it on my kids, like I tell a female, that's on my kids, I ain't fucking with you no more. That's a wrap. You can chalk it up. Yeah, all the self-destructive shit that I used to do when I was younger, with the kid, it seems so much harder to justify that. Yeah, but if I put it on something, I had to put it on something bigger than me. And once I missed the appointment with my kids, I said, you know what, it's time to get my life together. You know, if I'm gonna risk losing my kid to smoke this shit, nah. You know what I mean? Miss Booker, I think I was walking through the hood, I was high, my feet was hurting, and I said, Miss Booker, you know, pray for me. And she prayed for me, and my life been straight, you know, ever since, you know. How many years would you say? Right now I'm going on, say 4. Okay. Do you still live with it? They say that like an alcoholic's always an alcoholic because you always are gonna have that temptation, right? Well, you know what, now I'm so beyond it now, even if a thought come by my head, man, I wish I would. I got too many responsibilities now, you know. I run 3 different businesses, I got my studio, the best way I feel if you're trying to recover or whatever, first pray, put it in God's hands first. Just talk to God. They got all these little steps and shit. I never went through the steps. They had the 12 steps, but step one, they said put it in a once I put it in step one was put it in God's hands. I never went no further.
But the responsibility's got to be a big part, because if you have enough responsibilities that you physically don't have time. Like if I wanted to get high yesterday on something besides weed, it's just not happening. I got too much shit to do. It's impossible.
Exactly. See, I feel myself with a lot of hobbies all over the years. Like, you know, while Nip was doing this thing, even prior to Nip, I always filmed. I always did a couple songs a year or whatever. I always worked. I always been working on projects. They be like, man, you got so much shit. I got so much shit in my book. I got the movies, all the different things I wrote, but over the years, they finally coming together. Now they're finally done. You know what I mean? So over the years, I've been putting all this shit together. I don't know why, you know, just at the time, you know, I'm with Nip, I'm just going around the world. You know, everything that I wanted to do, I did it through him. I did it. You know, it was never no jockeying for position or nothing. I lived it through him. When I wanted a restaurant, I said, I seen the fish house, and I talked to the mom. I talked to the Chinese lady, and I said, "Man, I want to buy your restaurant." And she's like, "Oh yeah, give me 30, 40,000." They just casually said it. I said, "Hold that thought." I ran next door. I tell Black Sam and Nip. I said, "Hey man, they want to sell me the restaurant, 30, 40,000 or whatever." Monday morning, Black Sam had the keys.
Wow.
You feel me? You know, and I'm like, damn, they got my restaurant, you know. But then he said, tell me, go to Home Depot, get the floor, go do this, go get the equipment. So I didn't have a restaurant, but I had a restaurant because he had me, I put it together. You know, I was in control of putting it together, doing the floors or whatever needed to be done.
How much did y'all talk about that idea of like, we should own the establishments in the neighborhood that we love?
Well, you know, that corner was special to us. That was me and Nipsey's office. You know, we do the shift change. We had the church phone. I said, where you at? He said, I'm at the office. So that would be the office. And I'll pull up and I say shift change. And that means he'll take a walk and I'll be selling CDs and he'll come back. We use that as the office. And me, Nip, Fats, and that was the office. At that time, Black Sam used to do his thing, but he was like our supplier when it came down to the CDs. You know, he was the man. You know what I mean? So eventually when it started taking off, Black came aboard. Then once Black came and started with Nip, it took flight. That was the backing that he needed. Once he linked up with his brother all the way, they really took flight.
Really? So that was like, would you say it was organization or experience, or what was he bringing to the table that changed everything?
Well, yeah, well, he's particular on, he's particular like that, you know what I mean, being organized and on point or whatever. Like I said, at one time, like I said, I had faith in Nip at the beginning, and at the time, you got to realize everybody want to be a rapper. You got 1 million people that want to be the next rapper. So to everybody else, it's a dream. To me, I was like, man, if you do this, you know, you got it. You know what I mean? I see it in you. You could do it. So even at the time when Big U and Steve LaBelle wanted to sign somebody, get an artist, they wanted to know who. I told him Cuzzy Capone is hard. He's harder than Nip right now. He's harder, but I think Nip is more marketable, the taller, you know what I mean? I seen it. But at the time, Cuzzy was the hardest, but I seen Nip was growing into a more marketable person. He could throw on some jeans. He could throw on anything and make it look fresh, you know what I mean? So, I seen a lot in his future, you know. Like I said, dealing with Snoop and I've been in the industry for a while, you know.
Star power, that look will go a long way.
When you walk in that room, you know, like you look at Snoop and Corrupt, you know, Corrupt lyrically, but you look at Snoop, the tall, lanky, he walk in the room.
Because I look back at when I was like 9 or 10 years old, when I first really became obsessed with rap music. It was literally because of Snoop, and it was the G-Funk sound. And it was also the fact that this dude was just the coolest motherfucker I'd ever seen in my life. And even though I didn't understand where he was coming from, it made me want to know everything about him. Yeah. And I mean, like the guy who's going to be really the superstar at the end of the day, the girls are going to want to fuck him and the guys are going to want to be him. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's like if you could be the flyest rapper in the world, but if you're kind of a dork, yeah, it's gonna be tough to pull it off, you know.
Yeah, you gotta have that look, you know what I mean. You gotta be marketable for sure.
Definitely. Okay, so important question: when you start rocking the cowboy hat?
In prison.
Okay.
So now in prison, you know, you're on the yard and there ain't no shade. So we out there on the bars, we working out. So if you're on the yard crew, they give you a straw hat, you know. So I get the straw hat, and I would shape it like the cowboy hat, and I would wear it and have shades. So I'd be out there working out, getting shade all day. But then it kept me out of trouble. If the yard went down, they know, yeah, he was over there, because the hat was a giveaway. You know what I mean? So if something went down and I wasn't, oh no, cowboy, you go lock it up or whatever. Then if I wanted to do something stupid, you know, I'd put on my beanie or something, sneak out on the yard or whatever. You know what I mean?
Alter ego.
Yeah, you know, that 5 years I did, it was wild. You know, I woke up every day and I thought I was in a dream. You know, like, damn, I did the same shit yesterday and the day before that and the day before that and the day before that. Yeah, you know, you just.
I feel like there's levels to which people hate being in prison, though, and some people kind of get into the groove of just having that sort of controlled environment and everything. And some people, it's like straight torture the whole time. How miserable would you say you were with it?
You know, I adapted to prison. I was prepped for prison before I got there. The big homies had laced me. So when I got to prison, you know, I walked in the cell, like, where you from, bro? He like, I'm from Woo. Bust a U-turn, like, I ain't going up in there. That's a wrap. The homies already let me know. I already knew the rules before I got there. So when I left prison, they thought I was a lifer because I hung with nothing but lifers. You know, when I left prison, I cried. You know, I had tears because all my friends was back there. I didn't have no friends on the streets that I was going home to. You know, so all my friends were lifers, and I knew I wasn't gonna see them no more. So I had tears, and I was like, damn, why am I crying? I'm leaving, but I was like, damn. It was a lot of niggas in prison that I've been doing time with that I missed. You know what I mean? Like, that was my family. You know, you've been on this one yard, and when I got on the other side of that gate, I'm like, damn, this is where the fuck I've been all these years. You know, this motherfucking prison in the middle of nothing.
It took you a while to get familiar with the outside world, or to get comfortable having all that freedom?
Nah, not really. Not really. You know, I've been in and out of jail all my life, you know what I mean? So, you know, but just trying to, my main thing is I want to keep this message strong, you know. I'm tired of, you know, Nip was an amazing person, you know what I mean? And it was the God that he served, you know what I mean? What y'all see that light in him is with who he served, you know? That's what y'all see, you know, what he stood for, his principles, you know what I mean? So we gotta instill that in these youngsters, you know, a set of values that's bigger than the bullshit, that's bigger than your gang, you know what I mean? You want your kids running around with guns, you want your kids doing what you doing, you know, saying put it bigger than you. Something got to be bigger than you. Put it on your kids. Let's do it for the kids. If you don't do it for yourself, and a lot of these motherfuckers that are doing the dumb shit is kids too, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, not exclusively, but when a kid is at risk, is really like 16, 17 to like early 20s. Like I was talking to somebody who did all this prison time the other day, and they were talking about how the prison would be split up into like 18, 19-year-olds, 20 to 23, and then older than that. And the like 18 and 19-year-olds were so much worse than the older groups by far. And it's like, when you think about, you're coming fresh off of fucking puberty. You're like all amped up off testosterone. You don't got no life lessons yet. Like that is by far, I think, the most dangerous time. And that's the time where you get fucking booted out of your house, or you exit high school. All of a sudden you have all this free time, all of this freedom in a way. And that's when so many people end up making bad life choices that haunt them for a long time after that.
I mean, I've seen some that a couple of my homies just came home from 30 years. Like, you know, like, I remember we was a kid when we got locked up. Like, damn, bro, you just now coming home. You know, you was 15. Like, damn. Feel me? Just now coming home. You know what I mean? So I seen people get them dates. Now we call them Buck Roger dates. And now we're in 2022 now, you know. I've seen a lot of lifers come home, though. I've seen a lot of lifers made it home and they changed their lives. You know what I mean? They valuing this shit out here. A lot of these youngsters ain't been to jail, but you tough out here now, but when you go to jail, it's another ball game. But then now, you know what's so crazy? Even the prison system has changed. So the PCs, they run in the prison now. So now if you're in general population, you outnumbered by all the snitches, the rats, and all the protective custodies, all the SNYs.
It's that much more common for people to be in PC now?
It's much more common that they the majority now.
Really?
They the majority. So now they run in the yard, so basically you the PC because they got to cuff you up and protect you from all these weird motherfuckers. You feel me? All the good niggas is getting taken out, and we surrounded by all these weirdos with these weird values and with these non-rules, and they don't give a fuck no more. You know what I mean? So, you know, we up against it. You know, all the real, we losing a lot of real ones. You know, ones that can make a difference. You know, when it's all said and done, when your life is done, what did you stand for? You know, like what did Adam stand for? You know, what did Cowboy stand for? What, you know, me. The other day, I was at a motorcycle function. A nigga walked up and said, "Hey, Cowboy, 3-4 deep." Said, "Man, I want to shake your hand, man. I'm from A-Tray Gangster, man." You know how that made me feel.
Were you shocked, or is that something you've experienced a lot?
No, that's normal now. That's normal. You know, and then Bloods coming up to me saying, "Man, I love what you stand for." You know what I mean?
But that's also one of the privileges of being an OG, that they don't look at you like the way 18-year-olds look at each other, like a threat.
It's not even that. It's not even that, because if you out there gang banging and you from a different hood, they don't really care OG or non-OG or not. But through this social media, I think a lot of the gangs that even my hood may not get along with, they know what I stand for, and they know I want to get this united. You know what I mean? Even they might not stand, but they might dislike the nigga right next to me. You ready? But they know what I stand for. You know what I mean? I ain't with the bullshit. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody winning this war. You know what I mean? It's time. Okay, it's enough bodies on all sides. It's enough bodies. Okay, who gonna be man enough to say I quit? You know, I want to raise my kids. I want to do this. I want to do something different. I want to grow. I want to go to the store without looking over my shoulder. I don't want to have this gun on me every day, every 5 minutes. You know, I'm going to funeral guns in church and shit. Come on.
I mean, we had T-Rel, who does some interviews on our channels from Hoover, and he sat down and did an interview with Jay Stone, and he told me, like, he's like, you have no idea how big that is for me to be able to sit down with him and have a conversation on some regular shit. Like, that's just... You know, he grew up not thinking that was ever going to be a possibility.
Yeah. Like I said, man, I've been in and out of prison, so it's normal. You know, I sit in these tanks with him and we talk. You know what I mean? So it all depends what you stand for. It's still a code. Like I said, shooters respect shooters, and you know, certain motherfuckers respect. They respect. You know, even in the gang culture, it's still a degree of an etiquette. You know what I mean? Even when you're smoking drugs, it's an etiquette. You got to get a house man something. You know, it's always. So don't get away from that. If they stick back to the rules the way it's supposed to be, you know, it's a different ball game. But that's not gonna happen. So it's time to move forward. And you know, ain't nobody gonna win it. Ain't nobody gonna win this war. We just killing each other. Now it got so cold, we killing each other. So now, you know, at one time it was just Bloods and Crips. Now you got Bloods killing Bloods, Crips killing Crips, then 60s on 60s, and it just so.
What do you think the biggest thing that can be done to sort of reprogram the youth to not view the world this way and not want to do that shit? Because even when you do interviews with the biggest gangbangers who've been through the most shit, they all want to raise their kids to be nerds, to be squares, to go to college, to, you know, find a sport they're passionate about, find something good to put their energy into. You very rarely talk to somebody who's, I want my kid to have the same type of upbringing I had.
Yeah. Well, like I said, most of the ones kicking up dust is the ones that really still trying to prove something. You know, you still trying to make a name for yourself. You still trying to prove that you this and prove that you that. You know what I mean? Looking for acceptance. So now, even with this social media, it's like, who can do the craziest stuff? Or who gonna do this? Or I'm gonna do this to get my likes up. You know, a lot of people done got big. You know, just, you know, through Nip. You know, you didn't even know who these people was until they started speaking up on Nip. You know what I mean? Just through Nip. Like, Nip was so big that, look, the world looking at me. I was just his friend. You know what I mean? I'm just his friend. You know, I got no platinum songs that I done dropped or whatever, but that's how big my friend was. And I have no choice but to carry the torch and keep it alive.
But what's it like for you to all of a sudden be getting this crazy level of attention? Because I've seen it happen where somebody passes and the world is so enamored with them that they just start trying to figure out everything they can, and not to mention the evil side of it with the conspiracy theories and the fake news and everything.
Yeah.
As somebody who maybe wasn't getting that much attention prior to that, and to all of a sudden have so many eyes staring at you on the internet and whatnot, what was that like?
Man, it was crazy. I I used to look at Nip, and I see people running up to Nip taking pictures and stuff, and I'd be on the side laughing, and I said, man, how could you do that? You know, I was like, man, you know, and I used to ask him, you know, like, man, I gotta be tough, you can't go nowhere, you know. See, when I wore the cowboy hat, I was invisible. I could go anywhere. You know, I put on my little straw cowboy hat. You know, you catch me walking through the jungles. I'm walking through here. I'm going through anybody's hood. Nobody knew who the cowboy hat was. I can just go anywhere. You know, you never knew who that was my. And if I wanted to do something stupid, it reminded me of jail, reminded me where I came from. So I always kept it as a reminder, don't fuck up.
Do you have any particular admiration for sort of cowboy culture in general? Is that because I see you wear the cowboy boots and shit too? Is that something, do you just appreciate that? Do you listen to country music or anything?
No, I wrote some country music. Well, other than that, just playing with it like that. But my style is like I ride motorcycle instead of horses. We ride Harley Davidsons. So
which a lot of people don't understand the motorcycle culture either, huh?
Yeah, so it's like really when you see the boots, they're like motorcycle boots and stuff like that. If I'm out riding my Harley or something like that.
Okay.
So my style is like the cutoff jeans and that's just me. I just got my own style.
You know, it reminds me of I'm reading Will Smith's biography, and he talks about how when he was a kid that for a while he would just wear cowboy boots every day, even if he had a sweatsuit on. He'd be rocking cowboy boots because he just had like his own idea of what was cool, and he was completely cut off from what other people. And so then he'd leave the house, and motherfuckers would be making fun of him so bad, and he like didn't even understand because he just thought they were dope.
Yeah. My little brother was the same way. We got there playing basketball. He got his cowboy boots on, but yeah, he had a cold crossover with them boots on. Yeah.
That's dope. What keeps you like now? Do you think of it as like a branding thing? Do you appreciate the fact that it just makes you an automatic standout to people, that it's hard to forget you when they notice you with the hat?
Yeah, I mean, I've taken the hat off and I've been in cars and people look through tent and they point me out. So I used to tell Nip, yeah, I'm gonna make the hat famous, because you know a couple videos Nip did, I had on the straw hat. Was it the last time that I checked? One of those videos, I know he's passing out the all money in hats, and I had to have my straw hat on. So during the video, you know, he's doing like this, telling me to, you know, so I'm up there and and I'm seeing the film, and next thing I know, okay, he done scooted me way over here. So then the next video, I bought the all black cowboy hat and I put the all money in sign on it. Then Nip said, oh, yeah, that's fresh.
Wow.
So then once he seen that, it was cool, you know what I mean? He said, nah, that's fresh. So
that's fire.
Yeah.
I know some of your boys rock it too. Is that they just take it up themselves, or is this a coordinated
well, you know, my
effort?
hats just be laying around, so you know they all clown me. Oh, I'm gonna be cowboy today. They clowning, yeah, because you know, I got multiple names, and if you call me cowboy, you know we laugh. You know, I was sitting there like, who the fuck is that cowboy? I even say it, who the fuck is cowboy? You know what I mean?
Right.
But when I was in prison, I had a big homie, Bootsy. He had life, and he told me about another homie named Big Cowboy from our hood. So he got killed, I think, in 79, 80 or something. But there was never no Little Cowboy. So when I came home from prison, I told my big homie I'll take on Little Cowboy, and that'd be my that's my positive, where I do the, you know, my I don't want to give him like a gang name. Cowboy is you know, is on the
more
peace.
neutral.
We on the peace thing, you know. America can accept cowboy, and what I'm standing for, uniting. You know, the red, the blue, the brown. You know, I'm doing a few things with Final Level, so we're gonna bring Namek out. We're gonna do Namek with the red, the blue. Got a couple little things with Battle Cat, a few little things going on. So we still want to keep the movement alive, like with Nip had with YG, with Nip had with the game, with you know, that's the ultimate goal, is to save the ones we can. You know, we can't change everybody, but you know, hey, let's make an avenue for the ones we can. You know, if it's just 10, 15, whoever, we just one at a time. You know.
Where were you at when you found out about Nip passing?
No, I was there that day.
You were at the store?
I was at the store. I was at the store. So a lot of people, I see them analyzing the tape. I guess they never watched the tape, because you know, if you look at the tape, you see Nip roll up, and he parked his car. He's in everybody thought the black car was his, but he pulled up in the Benz truck. Then you see my Audi pull in behind it, but you see me come out the store. my food was coming. So I get my food, and me and Nip talked the whole time. So we sitting there talking. You know, I was telling how proud I was of him. That I said, man, you finally made it. You know, prior to that, earlier that week, I see him and Lauren London on the 4-wheeler. I'm like, man, you know, put a helmet on that girl, boy. Y'all, you know, you got too much loose time, because Nip worked every day of his career. He never had a break. He worked I said, man, how do you do it? That nigga worked hard. I mean, he come out just sweating, and I mean, he was working. And I was like, man, you finally got a break. I said, man, come back here and look at my job. And I show him the storeroom. I said, look at that. He looking at my shit, looking like, damn, how you do that? He got $1 million worth of shirts. I got the whole storeroom. My job, I got a chance to organize his storeroom. So that was like my project prior to his passing. I spent a lot of time organizing this stuff. So, you know, I would tell him, man, come hang out in the store, you know, in the back, you know, because he finally had made it. We did the DJ Khaled video, because Victory Lap was his only album. So everything, we finally did the Victory Lap, then we finally went around the world with the Victory Lap, and the Victory Lap was wrapping up in the DJ Khaled video.
That was a huge moment. And then I felt like that magazine cover that he had with Lauren, I felt like that was just like a big symbol of like, oh shit, like this dude has really kind of elevated his status past just like a LA rapper. He's on this level where they're choosing him to be the symbol of a great couple. Like that says a lot. A magazine cover, they're only giving out a few of those a year, you know?
Yeah. If you look in the magazine, you see Nip at the Hungry Herald. You see me right there in the corner with my little cowboy hat.
Oh,
you know?
shit.
So even the guy that was shooting for GQ, he said, "Hey man, I was the gopher that day. Like, hey, go get a beanie for G-Bob. Go get an umbrella for Lauren." So I'm running back and forth. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Whatever needed to be done. I was the gopher, you know. And then he said, "Hey man, I want you in this shot." I said, "Hey Nip, he want me in the shot." He said, "Go ahead."
Wow.
We sat down, so I could say I'm in GQ magazine with Nip. You know
what
I mean? If you look at Nipsey in his studio, he had a big old picture of the audience.
Right.
And you could just see the shadows. And I said, look, there I go. You can see my hat, you know, right there on the thing. You know, he could spot the hat. He was at the Staples Center and he was rapping, and he chunked the hood up. He looked at me like that. He said, "I see, I was way up there too." You know what I mean? And he spotted me in the Staples Center. You know?
Right. Wow.
Yeah, that was my bro. That was my friend.
So after the incident happens, well, one question I want to ask is, how much of a consideration was security at that time? Were you guys kind of just going by just having such respect, and obviously you're taking care of yourselves, you're protecting yourselves?
Yeah,
Did it occur to you like we need a big fucking 300-pound dude standing outside of the store? Or was that not really where your mind was at?
It never occurred. So like, even the video cameras, all the video cameras were outside to film the parking lot. We want to see if the police is rolling up. We wasn't, you know, everybody loved Nip. You know, if you feel me, that was unimaginable somebody do something to Nip right there. You know, Nip only had his bodyguards and shit when he was going out of town. You know what I mean? If he was going out of town, going to do a show or something, and that was it. Other than that, I'd be sweeping the parking lot in the morning. Nip would come from Marina Del Rey. I seen him slide by the shop. He'd chunk the hood up. He got him and his daughter in the car. They go drop him off at Granny house. He'd come back, pull up on me, park, and he'd say, "Hey man, read this book or drink this tea or something." I'm like, "Oh man, get that shit out of here." And I said, where you going today? So I'm in the studio about to go da-da. And then he'd go about his day. You know, the next morning it'd be the same routine. Then if he was out of town, he doing his thing, you know. He'd come back in town, I'd be in the parking lot. But Nip, when it went down, the whole time, you know, I was holding my food right there. And the thing that stick in my mind that always haunt me is like when the dumb weird motherfucking Eric pulled up, and Nip looked at Rimpo and he say, "Is that Eric?" And then Rimpo like, "Yeah." And I distinctly looked at Nip and I heard him saying to himself, "I wonder how this is gonna unfold." And that, you know, and that fucks me up. Then at one point in time while Eric was talking to him, Nip never, never disrespected that man. Nip never called that man a snitch. I was right there. I listened to the whole fucking conversation.
So that wasn't true. Everybody got that wrong. That's been repeated a million times.
Nip never called that man a snitch. Nip said, look, Nip said, man, they got the paperwork on you. I haven't read it. You know what I mean? You in the hood, take care of it. Nip was more or less looking out for him, like, look, bro, you know, they got some paperwork on you. You need to take care of that. It was more or less that. Like, we ain't seen you in a while. You know they got some paperwork. You need to take care of it. And this nigga, high as a bitch, eyes. I used to get high, so I know you can't pull it on me. Eyes high as a motherfucker. You know, all these niggas be hating on me. They be hating on me. So a couple times, I turned my back on that. I told Nip, we've been out too long. I turned my back on this nigga. Like, I back turned her, like, even mid-conversation, I put my back on this fool, like, you know, so when the fool go get his food, come back, shake hands, shook my hand, shook Nip's hand. Judging by the conversation, ain't nowhere in the world I would have suspected that nigga was gonna do what he did. If Nip would have been like, oh, you old bitch ass nigga, you's a snitch, I would have snatched him up and took him. Nip ain't gonna do nothing. If Nip would have had any words with anybody, I'm gonna grab him up. Come on, it's time for you to go, bro. If a fan come up and he drunk and he willy-nilly, come on, you gotta go. I'm gonna snatch him motherfucker up. The conversation was nothing like that.
So basically, there was no reason that Nip would have expected what was to happen next.
Yeah, so even if he seen cuz coming up behind him or whatever, he gonna look and, because the nature of the conversation, you would have never expected that.
Right.
Only thing I could think of, he was so high off of some crystal and he hallucinating or something. That's the only thing I could think of. I can't think of no. Nip did not disrespect that man, not one time. You know what I mean? So judging by the nature of that conversation, I would have never expected that, never in a million years. You know, but when he walked up, I don't know if it was God or not, but for some, you know, right before you get ready to punch a motherfucker, it's that split second, like, man, I'm about to sock this motherfucker. But for some reason, then I asked, like, damn, why do I want to sock this nigga? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like someone was telling me like this, you know what I mean? Just sock this nigga, you know what I mean? It's like
you
an
feel
instinct.
the energy.
An instinct, and I think Nip felt it when he said, I wonder how this is gonna play, but, you know, this is later, after the fact, you know what I mean? Like, damn, why did I think that? Why did I think I should have just socked this nigga soon, you know what I mean? Like I said, that's after the fact.
Damn.
You know, but here's the marathon store right here. Then there's a door right here. Then there's a door right here. That's the break room. So I'm in the break room eating my food. When I went to gunshots, I break through this door, I break through that door, I break through the front door. I'm the first nigga to Nip. I'm the first nigga to Nip. So anybody think that I'm looking out some fucking window at my bro getting shot, nigga gotta be stupid. Like I said, I ran through 3 doors, and I was the first nigga at Cuz' body. He had a bullet hole right here. I'm touching right here, and I'm praying for Cuz the whole time. He's breathing the whole time. You feel me? The whole time he's breathing, all the way till he got in the ambulance. When they put the thing in his mouth, he was still breathing, getting into the ambulance.
Right.
You feel me? So I ran from the 3rd store, and I was the first one to bro. So
right.
You know, so.
I mean, what is even the next 24 or 48 hours of your life like? Like, how would you describe it? Because it must have been so overwhelming in so many ways. You have the parking lot flooding with fans and supporters. Like, all of a sudden, it's everywhere on the news. Everybody wants to talk to you. I mean, how do you describe that?
Well, after it happened, you know, they took the body, he was gone. So the family, everybody rushed to go see Nip. So I'm still there with the property, gotta lock this and all these floods of people right there. So, and then the police taped it off. So they taped it off so many hours. You know, I was in the shop, locked in the shop. I actually gave the police officer some bread. He gave it to the hunger, and they gave me a bottle of Henny. So I'm sipping on the Henny. Like, man, I need a drink. Fuck what you talking about. Because if you don't give me a drink, I'm about to come hop through your barrier. I'm out of here. Fuck what you talking about. So they got me a drink, so I drank that first fifth. So by the time they shut the parking lot down, they opened it up. So now all these people are there. I know I was sitting in the car, and little niggas tried to sweat one of the little homies or some shit. I just jumped out the car, knocked out 4 niggas, and I went to jail.
And so that was immediately or after, a few hours after?
It was some hours. It was hours. But I went to jail that night. You know, it was after the second fifth. After I drank that second fifth. I don't know what the little youngsters was tripping on my little nigga for, but at that time it wasn't appropriate. Nip just died. You don't ask nobody nothing about nothing, where they from, or none of that shit. You know what I mean? So I blacked out. Like to this day, my voice will never be the same. I lost it that night. You know, I could feel.
Is that something you regret, like because of the alcohol, or is it something that you would have done sober?
Oh yeah. The alcohol had nothing to do with it, cause like I said, they all got knocked out. I didn't get hit, so that it wasn't. You know, obviously I was right. You know, shit.
Would you say even the cops were sympathetic to what you were going through at that point, or they're dickheads as usual?
No. The cops. I seen cops out there in tears. You know, we didn't hate the cops. You know what I mean? We had some asshole cops that would come fuck with us, but for the most part, after Nip, the cops they did their best. They did what they could do. They were real sympathetic. They did a good job. I can't knock them. You know what I mean? They did a great job. Even to this day, they still doing what they got to do.
Right. I remember soon after, maybe a year later, I was at the Mall of America in Minneapolis or Minnesota, I forget. But either way, like I'm walking through the mall and I'm seeing that there's like booths all through the mall, like the artists who draw shit.
Yeah.
And then one of the things that's at the booths is just a picture of Nipsey. And that's when I realized like, oh, so he is a global icon in this culture from now on. Like this is even people who have no clue what he really stood for or whatever. He just, you know.
And you know, I came home from jail. You know, I went to jail a couple times since after he passed too, and to get some clarity on some shit. I went to jail, not intentionally, but to see the conditions on where the closer I got to where Eric was in the psych wards and shit, to see the conditions, it made me smile. You know, just as when I got there and I seen transvestites with face mask on so they can't spit on you, and they in the bed and they handcuffed to the bed, and just to know that you in your cell up there and you gotta look down and see this shit every day, and one of these motherfuckers right here gonna get loose, and that's who gonna get your ass, one of these motherfuckers. So I had a chance to talk to trustees. So yeah, we be going over there, yeah, we be spitting in his food, we doing woo-wah, whatever, you know, so it was good to get an update, you know, because even I listened to some of these rumors, and I literally, when I went to jail, I could have bailed out immediately. You know, I'm smiling like, man, I'm going up in here. Yeah, I need my meds. I'm trying to get upstairs. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Let me get upstairs. And as soon as I got there, OSJ, you know, they snatched me up like, nah, never. You know, but then every time he walks around, you got 5 sergeants and a lieutenant surrounded him, and they got the camera on him.
Wow.
You know what I mean? They got a little suit, it's called like a Sub-Zero suit. So your whole side's out, you asshole naked, but you got this little blanket thing around your neck, and it come down, you cuff like this. So now, cuz he ain't high, he got on this, he asshole naked in that cold ass cell, and they spitting in his food. Now you looking real stupid right now. So
damn.
That's what he deserved, you know. I feel good now, you know, knowing that you're in there suffering, you know, just for you to die, that's too easy, you know what I mean? Sit back there every day, wake your ass up every day and just look out that cell and look at it. One of these weird motherfuckers is gonna get you, you know, so.
Well, that's some real shit.
Yeah, slow death is worse than just dying, you know what I mean? You're in there a slow death, you know what I mean? You got a lot of time to figure it out.
Right, definitely. It probably didn't help things that all of a sudden you, multiple people who are close to him, all of a sudden that public appetite for information kind of turns into the conspiracy theories and the fake hypotheses of how it could happen and everything. How do you deal with that when you all of a sudden have all these people trying to say crazy shit about you?
You know, it just, you know, I'm still in the streets though, so, you know, they put that shit out there. That affects my life, because I'm right, you know, any of your asshole could believe that shit and pull up, you know. I done slapped 3 or 4 motherfuckers for asking me dumb questions and stupid shit, you know. number one, nobody benefits from them being gone. Nobody. Not me, not Big U, nobody. Who benefits? You feel me? Who benefits? Nip was a leader of his own shit. Nip and his family own it. Who benefits? I mean, I was around the world with Cuz here. Who benefits? Okay, Nip gone, I'm still on Crenshaw selling shirts. Oh, wow, I'm rich now. But I still be out here hustling. Tell me, I mean, where this common sense. I miss my friend, that was my friend. All the money in the world, nigga, we need our friend back. Fuck all conspiracy. Like I said, me, that internet, you entitled. If you want to get your likes up with all this sort of shit, do it. I don't even entertain it. You know, I'm not even gonna entertain it. If I see you and you got a question and you in arm's distance, I'll answer the question appropriately. You know what I mean? If you got a disrespectful question, I don't have a problem to Will Smith your ass. It's not a problem. You know what I mean? Give you a victory slap. You know, it is what it is. You can get a fair one with me. I ain't too old to give you a fair one. You know?
The slap, you got that in your arsenal, huh?
Yeah. You know, in the '90s, you know, one of my big homies, Lil Looney, rest in peace. You know, he was telling us his slap was harder than his punch, and I seen him slap some big niggas and knock them out. So, you know, we perfected that slap. We slapped the shit out of it. That's just really disrespecting your manhood. You know, everybody, oh, I'll never get slapped. Nah, you can get slaps. It's what you gonna do after the slap. You know, I can slap the dog shit out of you. You might beat the fuck out of me afterwards, but they gonna remember the slap. You feel me?
What about Nip slapping the security guard? Do you teach him that move?
No, I didn't teach him that one, but that was one for the record books. I smiled at him. I was proud of him for that one. Like, but you know, he did what he was supposed to do. You know, I had a big homeboy, and he slapped the shit out of this nigga. He slapped the shit out of this big ass nigga. And he broke down in tears, and he was crying. I said, man, why are you crying? He said, man, you know why I slapped the nigga? I'm like, why? And I said, why? He said, because I was supposed to. Some motherfuckers is supposed to get slapped. You feel me? You know, me and my lady out doing something, and all of a sudden I'm the butt of the joke. You deserve to get slapped. You know.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I'm being respectful on this. A time and a place for everything, and you know, didn't punch you or nothing. You know, slap a motherfucker. You know.
Definitely. You can say as much or as little about this topic as you want, but there's been a lot of clubhouse chitter chatter, let's call it, over the course of the past couple of months. A lot of disrespectful theories thrown out about Nip, etc. How do you feel when you see a lot of that stuff going on?
In particular, I'm not sure what topic you really talking about. I'm not real big in and out here, little bits and pieces.
Some of it feels so disrespectful that I wouldn't even really want to necessarily be specific.
Yeah, like I said, I don't entertain if you got a specific person in mind or whatever. My thing is, if you got something bad to say about Nip, that's like speaking bad on Martin Luther King, or you speaking bad on a positive person. So I've been hearing rumors, they talking about tapes or whatever, that shit. If you got the tape, produce the tape. Nip gone. Nip family straight. You got the tape, what is you protecting? Nip gonna make money, his family gonna make money forever. Nigga, we was rich before rap. Nigga, we was rich rolling. Big U been had money. Nigga, we been having money. This shit ain't about no money. You feel me? We been having bread. Black Seminole been having bread. We just doing it, nigga, cause we could do it, show motherfuckers we could do it. Feel me? So, you know, they in it for the likes. They getting us sidetracked from the message. So if you look at every motherfucker that's talking about all the new hot topics, they wasn't shit prior to Nip death. If you look at they follows and they likes, until they start talking about Nip, they were nobodies. Nobody knew who the fuck they was until they did a bullshit post about Nip. That go for these whack motherfuckers or whoever. Whoever got some dumb shit to say about my dead homeboy, let cuz rest. Feel me? If you had a tape, nigga, if you had, number one, if you talking about him kissing his baby mama, he probably never kissed her ever. Okay, number one. And if you got a tape, produce it. Fuck waving a stake so you can get some likes. Nigga, we don't give a fuck, nigga. Even if Nip was here, he'd say run it. Nip ain't gonna pay nobody, nigga, to hold the tape. Nigga, ass whack, do we kiss his mama? Do we kiss his mama? Believe me, his mama done sucked the dick. So is that what he talking about? I'm just saying. I mean, you know, I don't. There's some weird shit, and I ain't with that weirdo shit. Leave my dead homeboy name out your mouth. Let Cuz rest. Cuz did some prolific shit. He did more shit than these niggas ever gonna do in a lifetime. Let Cuz rest. Let Cuz legacy live. Feel me? Why is you waving stakes in front of these motherfuckers? Then even the niggas that's interviewing, when they need to get slapped, they be snickering in the back. He and whoop whoop said da 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 da. Feel me? I don't want to do interviews with weird niggas. I'm gonna slap the dog shit out of a motherfucker. You know, cause right is right, wrong is wrong. I'm a believer of that. You know, right is right, wrong is wrong. Let bro rest. You know, Nip was 100% positive person. You know what I mean? So don't talk bad about a positive person. You know, what do you got bad to say about Nip?
One of the other like big theories you see people talking about is the idea that that he might have been not paying the people that he was supposed to be paying, and that could have led to his passing.
Well,
I've seen YouTube videos with like almost 1 million views that are saying that like it's fucking gospel, which is kind of mind blowing to me.
That's negative. Nip wasn't gonna never pay nobody. I don't give a fuck who he was. Nip wasn't gonna pay nobody, and all it was is one dumb nigga did a dumb thing to Nip. Nobody, okay. If you paid a nigga to do something, say, okay, you pay a nigga like dumbass shitty cuz to do something. If you pay a motherfucker, a nigga gonna try to get away. You gonna try to get your move and get away with the bread. What the fuck you gonna just crash dummy nigga and shoot a motherfucker on tape and sit there and that's just straight high dumb shit. You feel me? You get paid, you gonna what you gonna do? You gonna get your bread, nigga, and you gonna get the fuck on. You gonna sneak and do it. You gonna, what the fuck? You not gonna, oh yeah, I'm gonna pay you to do this. So that means you just walk out in broad daylight and do some dumb shit? Nah, if you motherfucker pay me, oh man, I need you to go get at him. All right, motherfucker. I'm just gonna walk in there willy-nilly. You paying there, how the fuck I'm gonna spend the money then?
Right.
The fuck, well, I mean, I don't understand these motherfuckers' common sense, you know what I mean? I don't understand their angles. Other than getting their likes up, this is about, you know, it's a social media world. They want to get their likes up. I don't know if they got ads running on their page or whatever.
Oh, definitely.
Whatever it is.
They get those views on YouTube. That could be their rent for a couple of months, you know?
Yeah, like I said, it's just, you know, let the homeboy rest in peace, though. You know, if somebody got something bad to say to Nip, about Nip or whatever, you know, you could pull up on me. We can address it. You know, why you gotta post it to the world? If you got some hidden shit, why you gotta let the world know? I mean, you know, why I'm gonna let the world know I got some potential shit? You know, you just trying to get your likes up. Get your likes up, but just get them up not with my homeboy. You know what I mean? Nip was that big, you know. Even you know, look at me, you know what I mean? You feel me? The world, you look, I'm on the show with Adam, you know, through my homeboy, you know what I mean? You know, I don't have no big achievements other than my message, you know, and my story, you know what I mean? My story, you know, I got an amazing story, you know, all the shit I've been through in life, from gang banging to drugs to prison to my life with Nip. Nip was a piece of my puzzle. You know, he was a chapter in my life, you know. So it's time for me to continue to go on and, you know, and see who else I can save, you know what I mean? See who's the next person that could be big, you know, just keep the vision alive, you know, and don't even entertain these niggas with this shit, you know. It's good for their likes or whatever to get it up, I guess, so they can get their little checks, but you're doing it at the expense of people that we love, you know. You might be a fan of Nip, but that's my friend, that's my homeboy. He was like a dad and a son. You know, when he started off, he was like a son. You know, I'm lacing him, but later on, he was lacing me, you know. So that day when I lost him, it's like I lost a dad and a son, you know, because he was full of knowledge. That's what keep me going now. You know, that's what motivated me to get all my businesses, got my restaurant going, doing my clothing and different stuff like that. So he definitely motivated me as well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing just that you recognize his talent so early on and that you were able to be up there and witness it unfold.
Yeah, and just I went through some stuff and I didn't want him to go through it. You know, at that point in time, I could have been a big homie and I could have said, here go a gun, do this, or here go some drugs, do that. You know what I mean? But instead, I said, if you do this, this is gonna happen. If you do that, bro, you can make it big. And he listened.
Definitely. How do you feel about the idea that I've seen discussed where some of the information that came out from the cops afterwards that led a lot of people to believe that Nip had been under investigation for all these years and that they were working on building a case against him or whatever? Is that how you view it, or do you think that they're kind of misconstruing some of that shit?
I mean, you know, we were doing it big, so I would imagine all eyes was on us anyway. You know, we was the little youngsters on the corner, the little underdogs. Before you know it, we got the whole corner sold up. You know, then Nip was big. You got tourists pulling up around the world. So anytime you doing it big, you know, they're going to, you know, take a peek at you anyway. You know, good thing about bro, he wasn't doing nothing wrong, so you could look all you want. You know, he was good.
What lessons do you think people should take from the Nip situation when it comes to just the idea of doing a store or a business in your local community? Because even for me, when we had the store on Melrose and when we talk about doing stores, people frequently bring up the Nipsey thing to be like, oh, you're too well known now, you can't do a store, you can't be just like out there, you're too accessible to people, etc. Sometimes when I even, you know, have mentioned to other people that I work with who are from neighborhoods in LA, and I suggest like maybe you could do a store or a restaurant or whatever, a lot of times the Nip situation comes up as almost like the lesson that people learn from that is don't do a business where you grew up because it might be too dangerous for you. How do you feel about that?
I mean, the goal, you know, Nip's ultimate goal was to try to save, you know, youngsters in the neighborhood, give them, you know, options, give them jobs, give them a spot where they could do what they had to do. You can't give up on it, you know. Maybe you can set up something and give back to your community, but you got to just do it maybe at a little longer distance. You know, that's just the world we live in. You know, the world we live in is like is violence. They only respect violence. You know, you could talk to somebody cool, they're not gonna respect. They're gonna respect the slap. They're gonna respect you putting hands on them. They don't. There's no more respect. It's like who can be the most violent. You know. So like I said, you in your neighborhood. Yeah, you gotta, and then if you move out the neighborhood, you sell out. You know what I mean? You know, if you move out, you sell out. If you stay, you die. You know, it's a tough situation, but at the same token, you gotta just bless your homies from afar. But you know, I'm downtown now, so I got my stuff downtown. But you still in the elements, you know. With me, I got the fame, but I wasn't rich and famous. So when you get fame now, every hood, everybody in LA know who you are. So, and I still gotta live a life. You know, I still gotta, you know, I'm not riding around 10, 15 bodyguards. I don't have a Jay-Z budget to have a security detail. You know, I don't have that type of budget. So, a lot of these podcasters, you know, if you putting false information out, but you really affecting our lives out here in the streets, you know, we out in the streets every day. So if you pumping up propaganda and now we out here, we gotta clean it up. You know, we got to clean up the streets.
You're definitely outside because, like, you just search YouTube, you can find tons of videos that people just film of you just outside on your motorcycle, etc. It's like, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
What's that feel like to be kind of under the microscope?
You know, it's good. It's good in a certain way because, like I said, a lot of people know what I stand for, and when they walk up to me and they just feel motivated and they say, you know, we love y'all story, or just all the Nip stories I hear when the fans would come up to me and say, oh, Nip helped me start this business. Listening to Nip music got me through college, doing this. Just the stories. And like I said, I would laugh at Nip taking all those selfies with all the fans. So I keep it alive for Nip.
Definitely. How do you how do you feel about some of the things that are being done with the Marathon brand and everything? Because they're doing a store on Melrose, right?
Yeah.
Are you involved with that in any way? Or
No.
Gonna...
So the team is still there. So the team, they've been there, working. I'm still in contact with a couple of the workers or whatever, my friends or whatever. Nip was the glue. Nip was the glue to a lot of individuals, like Fats. Fats was the glue. When Fats passed, it was a lot of people that depended on Fats. So when Nip passed, I was a worker. Nip was my friend. Black Sam was my boss. So after Nip passing, the glue really wasn't there. Some of his friends, we really weren't eye to eye. And then if Nip was doing the show, we gonna be cool. After the show, man, we gonna have to talk. We gotta go squabble up or whatever. You know what I mean? So, like I said, Nip was the glue to a lot of stuff, and I did everything for Nip and Nip only. Hanging up posters, cleaning up smoker shit in the parking lot, whatever I did it for Nip only. So, after Nip passing, I was just nothing to do. Nothing to do. I cleaned up the parking lot. Every candle that was out there, I cleaned those candles up. Trash cans. That was the hardest thing I ever did in my life, was cleaning up all those candles. Every day, just picking up the candles and walking past those candles. Because like I said, I was still working at the Marathon at the time. I guess after the funeral, basically everything just kind of everybody we took a break, and Marathon continued to do what they did, and Cowboy just, I did my thing. It was either go that way or continue to fuck with the hood. I can't give up on the hood yet.
That's how you feel? It would hurt too much to just move out to the suburbs and just...
Well, not that, I just can't give up on it. I just can't. We came too far now, even with Nip. I came too far to let tourists get robbed. I done came too far to watch these tourists get shot. I done came too far. I done seen so much after Nip. I can't let a tourist come down there and leave with a bad taste in their mouth. Because somebody from one of Nip's friends, so-called friends, because if you was his friend, you wouldn't be doing the dumb shit that you doing. Because Nip didn't stand for that shit. If Nip was living and you was in the parking lot and you did something dumb, you robbed somebody, man, Nip gonna make a phone call, we about to snatch your ass up, we gonna get the money back, we gonna beat your ass and send you on your way. So it's a lot of people now, they getting real boisterous now that Nip is not here. When Nip was around, you niggas was quiet. You had nothing bad to say about Nip on your podcast, and when Nip was living, niggas wasn't saying nothing, niggas was quiet. Now all of a sudden, you wanna get your likes up and all that shit through Nip, but it is what it is. That's the society that we live in. The social media, people walking up to me, shaking my hand. You would swear I was on Fox News or something. It's just internet. It's nothing big to me. I just, what am I gonna do with it though? That's the question though. Now that the world know who I am, what is Cowboy gonna do? What I'm gonna do? Nip did what he did. Nip made a change. Nip changed a lot. So what am I gonna do? That's the question.
So how do you break down the businesses that you got going on at this point? You got a restaurant?
I got my restaurant. And I manufacture clothes. So basically, if you want to build your brand or whatever, you need silk screening, you need embroidery, anything you can think of, we can make it. Down to jerseys, jackets, direct to garment, direct to film, anything they got to do with garments, hats. Like I said, if you can think it, we'll create it for you.
That's dope, because there are so many more like young independent people I see who are trying to do clothing lines at this point.
Exactly. So a lot of stuff Nip did, with the Crenshaw and all that stuff. I'm basically doing the same thing. If you look at everything that I did in the beginning, Nip was in my little videos watching me, and then he did videos in the same, every video spot I did, he did the same spot. He did everything I did. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do everything he did.
Right.
He followed me, now I'm following him. Hopefully somebody else, it keeps going. I left him a blueprint, he ran with it, and he took it to a level that I couldn't have took it.
Right.
Now I'm gonna take it to another level, and then hopefully somebody take it to the next level.
What's your current attitude on social media? Because you've kind of, I don't know if you're planning on going viral, but you have frequent moments where you just will upload something on your Instagram. Like one clip that actually gave me the idea of like, why the fuck don't I just hit this guy up and see if he wants to do an interview, is when I saw you tripping on the dude who was tagging in the alley, and you just gave him a little history lesson and a whole bunch of game, and it was just like kind of crazy to see you being so outspoken to this guy and having it caught on camera. Like what is your attitude on that kind of stuff?
Well, you know, I was trying to save the youngster's life. You know, I remember when he first came from out of town, and you know, I threw him the keys to my car. I had him working for me. He wasn't from the hood, and I said, man, stick with me and do your thing. And they respected him. Came by one day and said, oh man, I got put on. I'm from the hood. He just wanted to be from the hood. So I went over there and I squabbled him up. So, okay, you gonna be from the hood? Squabbled him up. Then when I seen that bullshit right there, you know, them conversations like that, I had him all the time. Just once in a while, I put on my phone and just film it. You know what I mean? I have conversations like that daily with youngsters. You know, you'd be surprised how many youngsters I talk to about gang banging or giving them advice, or they want to come to me and they want to get put on the hood or whatever. By the time they done with me, they ready to go somewhere to college or do something else. You know, because I'm gonna keep it 100 with them. You tell me, I've been through a lot of shit that they going through. So if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you, this is where you head. If you're talking about drugs, let's talk about it. If you're talking about jail, let's talk about it. You're talking about whatever you can think of, I can relate to you about it. And people can relate to other people that been through it. Like if I'm trying to recover from drugs, if you never did drugs, how the fuck you gonna tell me something? You know what I mean? But people can relate to other people. So like, if you got a problem with drugs, I can help you get off drugs, only simply because I've been on them. You know what I mean? I can help you, you know, and they respect that, you know.
Definitely. I just want to ask about this other one. There was like a video of you going through a drive-thru or some shit, and there's a dude who has his whole fucking face scraped off. I can't even imagine how the fuck that happened to his face.
That was a lady.
Oh, wow. Okay. Misgendering.
That was a lady.
Right,
yeah.
okay, you're right. Yeah.
Well, but no, that was a lady, you know, and black people thought that was I don't know, I was going to McDonald's, get my coffee early in the morning, and I seen her face. First, she was bent over, and it was like this much ass crack hanging out, and I just wanted my coffee. I had to get my coffee in the morning, and it's like I said, she wanted drugs. I know what she wanted. I used to frequent that McDonald's right there. If I needed it early in the morning, I'd slide through there, try to, you know, panhandle some change or whatever. So, yeah, she needed some drugs. So it's like, you know, here you go to 20 to get you some drugs so you can go. Like, if you want some McDonald's, I'll buy you McDonald's. But if you want drugs, you know.
A lot of people would just look away and not even try to have a conversation with that
I didn't
person.
want her, you know, I didn't, it wasn't really about me. It was about the other kids and other people that's about to be pulling up in a minute. You know, it really wasn't about me. You know, I tell you, no, get the hell on. It didn't bother me really like that. But some kid about to roll up on his way to school this morning to see your ass out there. You know, I give you $20 to get on. Just get out of here. You know what I mean? Just, yeah, I don't want you to shock one of these kids. You know, but apparently she jumped out of a car.
Oh, I guess that was
got drugged or something.
Damn. I hate to ask about this, but I know you responded to it already on Instagram at one point, but there's a certain YouTuber who made a video basically accusing you of having sex offender status for something that happened in the 90s or something. That's not accurate? You said in the video?
Me being a registered sex offender, that's public knowledge. 1990, I robbed that parking lot. In the process of me robbing that parking lot, I snatched a woman's chain and I scratched her breast. So maybe 15 years later, coming home from prison, they said, now it's a new law, you gotta register. So
wow,
that's something I gotta live with.
Damn.
You know what I mean? But as far as you put me out there like a nigga child mode and all this and all that, whip your dick out and go take a piss right there, you're gonna be in the same boat. You're gonna go piss in public, you're gonna be in the same boat as a motherfucker that's tampering with kids, you know? So like I said, 1990, I robbed that parking lot in the process of snatching somebody's chain. She got a scratch on her breast, and I took a deal for a robbery. That was my deal, but years later, they said it was a sexual assault.
But the person who called you out, I was pretty surprised just because it feels like this is a guy from LA, who's from a neighborhood.
Yeah, you could have pulled
It's
up.
kind of weird to be addressing other valid members of the community on YouTube, right?
Cuz ain't really valid though, you know. Cuz ain't really valid like that, you know. They on they like tip, cause I been got at their homies and all their homies like them niggas is busters. Them niggas don't want it with you. Like I said, they want to pull up and take a fade. You know where to find me. It's an easy call. I'm out there, you know. But they don't want to take no fade. They just want to get their likes up. You know what I mean? You know, you talking all that high power shit. You know, just pull up and take the fade. You know, win, lose, or draw, nigga. I'ma squabble up. You know, and they know that. You know, so a lot of these motherfuckers pick and choose their fades. You know what I mean? They gonna pick and choose. You know, I always fought for the underdog. You know what I mean? I was a skinny, light-skinned nigga from 60, so I had to fight. You know what I mean? I couldn't bluff nobody. I wasn't no black nigga with a jerry curl that could just bluff a motherfucker. You know what I mean? I was a skinny motherfucker, so you know, I had to squabble up. So.
Right. Do you think that a lot of people are just the internet's made them lose their minds?
Yeah. Well, like I said, they sitting at home. You see these motherfuckers in their little podcast. They in their mama closet. Mama telling them they quit making all that noise and shit. You know what I mean? You know, everybody entitled to opinions. I guess all these motherfuckers want to be Wendy Williams. It's hot topics. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, I would call these motherfuckers gay, but I don't even want to disrespect the gay community like that. So I'm trying to figure out what I could even call them. You know, I got a hot dog stand, so I'm cooking up weenies. So most of these niggas is weenies. You know what I mean? That back in the day we called them weenies. You know, that's what they are, and they. You know, they hide in their mama closet. You know, they don't go outside. You know, that's the most money they ever made. They content with, I guess, the YouTube check or whatever it may be. Like I said, me, I got to hustle. I'm outside every day. I got to grind. I got to provide for my kids. I do it for my kids. You know, I got 6 kids, and that's what keep me going.
I mean, you said that there's a big part of you that still likes the craziness and misses the getting high thing. Is it kind of tough living downtown, being that that's where it's right there?
You know what? I went downtown. I never got high downtown.
Oh, okay.
So when I made it to downtown, I was on my road to recovery. So when downtown, like I go down to shutter, I pass out money. You know, I don't know if you've seen. I go down and give them money or whatever, and I hit those old spots. I never got comfortable down there. If I'd have got comfortable getting high downtown, I would have never quit. You know, I was on my road to recovery, and I would leave out of those shelters, and I would walk past the guys still outside getting high. So I'm glad I never went inside one of those tents and got high, because I might have got comfortable. I'd have had 10, 15 tents out there, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it. So what's your message to the people out there? Anybody you want to thank? Anything that we should put out there? This has been a beautiful interview, honestly. Thank you so much. It's just been so incredible hearing your story.
Oh yeah, the main thing is never give up. Never give up on your dreams, no matter where. You're gonna have to work for it though. You know, you got to work every day. You know, Nip had talent and he worked every day. If you're not as talented as him, you're gonna have to double it. You're gonna have to double it up. You know, never give up. You know, Nip always told me he admired that I always reinvented myself. I always stayed relevant. I always stayed moving. I always got new ideas. So don't never let nobody tell you no. Don't bite into the negativity. Don't even give the bullshit no response. You know, don't just nip it in the bud. It's nothing even. You know, the more energy we give it, don't give it no energy. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers say something, don't even tune in. Like certain motherfuckers that I'm scrolling, if I'm scrolling down the timeline, I just see their face. I know they talking about some dumb shit. I don't even want it. Don't even entertain it. That's just one less like, cause that's what they in it for. So when they post up some weird shit with a crazy title or whatever, don't even tap in. You know, don't even give it no energy. You know, I used to give it energy. Somebody come in and they say Cowboy this and that, and I cuss them out or whatever, come on, take the fade or whatever, all of a sudden, I'm getting blocked, you know what I mean? But they initiating it or whatever, you know, don't even bite into it, just delete it and keep pushing, you know what I mean? I know what I stand for. I'm gonna keep my message. I don't. I start looking at my stuff on YouTube, and I was always yelling at somebody. I was always doing this. You know, I wanna have more positive. I want to show people if I can do it. I was a crackhead. Nigga, I smoked dope. You feel me? But I've been around the world. I got successful businesses right now, raising my kids. So if I could do it, nigga, I was a gangbanger. I'd have been in prison 5 times. If I can do it, nigga, what's your problem? That you know, God take some of the worst motherfuckers to show you that we could do it. You feel me? I come from over there with the worst of the worst motherfuckers, and to show them another way. You know what I mean? That we can do something different. You know. That's what it's about, you know. Like if somebody like me, if you look at my life and how I was gangbanging, and to hear me talk how I'm talking now about peace and shit, to show me getting love from all the different sets, that's amazing. That's amazing. So that let me know there is hope. You know, there's a few individuals from everybody's hood that won't change. Now, if they man enough to say something about it, or man enough to step up and say, come on, little niggas, look, we gonna do this. Fuck that old ass beef, let's do this. Then the next hood, like, ain't no leadership. As long as we ain't got no leaders, they run around with their head chopped off. Everybody think they're above the program because they don't know the program, they don't know the rules. You know, so like I said, if you're gonna use your platform, you wanna use your likes, use it on some positive shit, use it on something that's gonna change it, quit using it for the bullshit. You got some weirdo information, hold on to it. You know, do what you got to do with it. That if it ain't positive, why we even playing with it? You know, so don't entertain it.
That's real. I think a lot of people are going to be very empowered and inspired by your story.
Yeah, check out. I wrote my book, so my book is in the process. So hopefully, the next couple months, I'll wind up dropping it or whatever.
Oh wow!
I've been so busy with the restaurant and the clothing store, so it's about complete. So my restaurant, we'll do the 4th of July. I think I'm going to do my grand opening. Then one other thing that I want to do, you know, we got Nip's birthday coming up. So on his birthday, you know, a lot of tourists want to come by and show their respects or whatever. What I want to do is have a ceasefire. So all gang members have a ceasefire on Nip's birthday. On Nip's birthday and on the day that he passed. So 2 days out the year, maybe we could start there. Let's start on the 31st of March, and let's start on Nip's birthday, 2 days out the year. We could start back having a ceasefire where on those 2 days out the year, at least we ain't got to worry about getting killed. You can go to the store, you can go to the park and go have fun, go chill with your family. So that'll be a request that I would want from all the hoods in LA, all around the world. You know, LA gangs have a big influence on around the world. So if LA get their shit together, other states will get their shit together.
I think that's a good idea.
But it got to start somewhere. So the 60s can start with the 60s, the 40s can start with the 40s, the Bloods, you know, if we can't get along with each other, how the fuck I'm gonna get along with you? So if everybody start in-house first and try to mend that, then we could move forward. Other than that, we just stacking bodies on top of bodies on top of bodies, and these kids is raising themselves. Their daddies is dying, and nobody winning the war, nobody winning. You know, nobody winning and don't nobody know why we beefing. Wow, imagine that. Something to think about. Like I said, Nip got into the gang bang, smart man. You know what, I'm gonna do something else. But ultimately, the people that we trying to save wind up taking him out. But, you know, it was a part of God's plan though. You know, it's nothing that I could have did that day. It's nothing that could have been done. That was a part of God's plan because Nip served God. So God ain't gonna let a hair on your body get touched unless it was a part of a bigger plan. So when Nip was in his casket and he was there, he had a smirk like, "Child, well done. I did that." It wasn't. I've been to funerals. I don't know where this nigga went. I know where Nip went. Nip was like, he was greeted by angels when he came. I look at him like making sure he wasn't still breathing. Like nigga, he had so much life still in him. He's like, you know, like I did that. I smiled like, man, bro, like I did that. Like nigga, don't be sad. He did what he's supposed to do. He did what he's supposed to do on earth. You know. So I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him.
No, honestly, that's some real shit right there. Damn, you got me damn near tearing up here. Fuck. Cowboy, thank you so much, man.
Yes, sir.
It was an honor.
Yes, sir. It's overdue.
Appreciate you, man.
Marathon continues.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Check us on YouTube, TikTok, Patreon, Instagram, all that shit. Like, comment, subscribe, nojumper.com if you want to support. Appreciate you, man.
All right, G.